Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
This is night cam reporter Tim Pamplin on the Southfield Freeway. A man trying to cross the freeway struck by several cars. Coming up, we'll speak to one of the drivers that hit him and what she did to try to save this man's life.
As Detroit police light a candle to remember a beloved officer.
My father-in-law loved what he did and loved to protect everybody here.
The department has suspended a sergeant for failing to respond to the shooting scene that cost Rasheem McClain his life. We're glad you're with us tonight for Local 4 News at 11. It has been a really tough week since Officer Rasheem McClain was shot and killed. The suspect in the shooting should never have been on the street. And now a sergeant is being disciplined for his inaction that night.
That's right, but still hundreds came out tonight to the 12th precinct to light a candle and spread some kindness in McClain's memory. Mara McDonald is live at the 12th precinct tonight. Mara, for the first time we heard from Officer McClain's family.
And they told us, Kimberly, that it was his calling to be a Detroit police officer, that he loved being a police officer, which is something we heard from his colleagues here at number 12. It's all Rasheem McClain wanted, was to work here.
On behalf of my family and my mother-in-law, Heidi, I'd like to thank everybody for coming here tonight.
Some of Officer McClain's family took the time to come and grieve with his co-workers and the extended community ahead of next week's funeral.
He was a hero to the community, but he was also a very, very special member of our family, and we have a giant hole in our heart right now.
Rasheem McClain's co-workers, both present and past, came as well.
The thing I remember the most, he always had a smile. Whenever he came to talk to you about something, he always was smiling.
He was someone you wanted to work with and for. Lindsay Schreiner did. They were partners.
This really hit home, especially, you know, my life depended on him each and every day from 2:45 to 10:45 p.m. My life depended on him. So, I mean, losing someone is like losing a piece of you.
My chains are gone.
The candlelight memorial happening on the night the chief has suspended a sergeant who he says didn't respond to the scene the night McClain was killed. He was a block away. The chief says he made no effort to get to the scene and take control, unlike McClain, who ran into a home to protect the public and took a bullet to the neck.
Rasheem, he worked in his calling. I never known him to want to be anything other than a police officer. So he died in his calling. He was doing what he was called to do and what he was put on this earth to do.
Back here live, in addition to the issue with that sergeant who has since been suspended, you have an issue with the suspect. You will notice that that suspect hasn't been arraigned yet. That's because the prosecutor's office hasn't issued a warrant for him yet and gotten that done because they are still waiting, they say, for paperwork from DPD. Of course, DPD disputes that, and that's where we're at tonight. We're live on Detroit's West Side at number 12. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Yeah. Okay, Mara, thanks.
Now to breaking news tonight on Detroit's West Side. A man hit and killed while trying to cross the Southfield Freeway.
Yeah, he was hit by several cars near Grand River. Tim Pamplin is on the scene with a night cam. Tim.
Michigan State Police have had the Southfield Freeway southbound lanes closed all evening after this man hops over the median wall there into the southbound lanes and is struck by several vehicles, including one driven by Angela Potter here.
Oh, everyone stopped and recorded it. No one stopped to help. There's no reason to grab your phone. I don't understand why people grab your phones. Put your phones down, help.
And that is exactly what Angela did.
Tried giving him CPR.
While other drivers were filming his last minutes, Angela carried on giving the man CPR.
Yeah, about 10-15 minutes, and the ambulance came and said he was gone. He was already gone.
Michigan State Police continuing their investigation, trying to determine who this man is and why he was walking along the Southfield Freeway. That is the scene along the Southfield at I-96 with the night cam. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
All right, Tim. The Farmington Public Schools teacher, or a Farmington Public School teacher, is suspended for allegedly using a racial slur toward a student. In a letter to parents, the school district says a Farmington Central High School teacher used a racially offensive term toward an African-American student. Following an investigation, the teacher was suspended and must now undergo professional development training.
2 people in masks caused thousands of dollars in damage at a county park. The Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office says these 2 masked suspects vandalized the county farm park in Ann Arbor Township back on November 9th. Surveillance video showed the 2 using a hatchet and bolt cutter to damage security cameras, door locks, and ransacking a storage room. Deputies believe the 2 have vandalized the park several other times. Anybody with information can call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Michigan voters may have legalized recreational marijuana last year, but soon voters in Clinton Township will decide whether to allow legal marijuana in their community. The township clerk has submitted a ballot proposal after receiving a petition with more than 5,700 signatures. A proposal to allow recreational marijuana businesses will now appear on the March 2020 presidential primary election ballot.
A federal judge ruling tonight, former White House counsel Don McGahn must testify before Congress. McGahn was a key witness in special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation, but has so far refused to comply with a congressional subpoena, with the White House arguing he has absolute immunity from testifying. The ruling could force other current or former White House aides into appearing before Congress, but note that the Justice Department has already said it is going to appeal the ruling.
Well, he's been treating patients in Monroe since the 1950s, but next week he will be closing his practice after an amazing 65-year run. Dr. John Burroughs says it is time to finally settle down at 93 years of age. So why now, do you ask? Coco McAvoy sat down with him tonight to find out what's next for the doctor.
He's referred to as the legend across town, but after practicing for more than 6 decades, Dr. John Burroughs is cleaning out his shelves to retire.
It's been 65 years.
At 93 years old, Dr. John Burroughs is lively, sharp, and still loves the career he chose back in 1954.
And I've enjoyed every minute of it.
So much so that he never thought he would give it up.
I told all my patients that I would never retire voluntarily, and this is totally involuntary. I just ran out of gas.
Now the doctor and his staff are clearing out what's left of the office.
This stuff's gotta go to your house.
Filling up boxes and waiting for patients to pick up their files.
Some of them have been coming to me for well over 50 years, and I do consider them more friends than patients.
It's difficult to leave it all behind.
People say, what are you going to do? I don't have any hobbies. I played all kinds of sports. As I used to put it, I was good at everything, but not great at anything.
But he is great at being a doctor.
They say don't practice in your hometown because, like Rodney Dangerfield, you don't get no respect. Well, it's paid off.
Though the Monroe legend is packing up, his legacy isn't going anywhere. I'm Coco McAvoy, Local 4.
And we wish him well. He actually says he plans to spend lots of time with his 4 children in retirement.
There is so much to admire there, isn't it? Really great.
93 years old. All right, still ahead, Ford responds to Tesla's latest Cybertruck video.
We'll see what Ford is proposing after Tesla made a big claim against the F-150.
And she called 911 to report a body in her driveway and told police she never met the woman who was killed, but her story quickly unraveled. Ben.
Kim, if tomorrow is your getaway day, not too shabby. Temperatures pretty close to average, but generally dry. Once we get into Wednesday, that's a much different story. We'll check it out next.
All right, Ben, but coming up first, children take a crack at the hottest toys of the holiday season.
You're supposed to step on the slide? Yeah, you're supposed to step on it, and if you're lucky, you'll get a haircut.
Only if you're lucky. Did they live up to the hype? We've got the results of this year's toy test next.
Taking the stress out of Thanksgiving dinner, the local spot offering gourmet to go with more than 60